Damn it. I'm not getting a microphone.
I know. Welcome into Ramie and Drew live episode. What is this? 17? I am Ramie Mackloff. That is Drew Flaggy. We are live, Drew Flaggy, after the 17. I forgot to make like a new banner and stuff after we had Bart on earlier today. Bart Winkler was on earlier today. Go and check that out. Find us on YouTube, Spotify, and now Apple podcast as well. But Bucks win today, 112-195. Drew Flaggy and Giannis making statements. Like I feel like people don't mention Giannis in the by the way, we should address your sleevelessness before we get into anything. That was a bit following up on a discussion earlier when we had Bart on the show, and I had on a Superman shirt, which Bart made fun of, which then I subsequently spilled vegetable curry on. So I had to change shirts, and I was like, pander to the audience when you change shirts. So I put on this Bucks shirt, and Drew put on a basketball jersey and no sleeves underneath, also as a callback to our conversation earlier today. And now you're
I expected you to be dressed like Superman because you thought you were Superman. So I'm dressed like Dame Lillard now.
Yeah, but the joke doesn't work. The joke doesn't work because I changed shirts. And I
Dude, you spilled your dinner on your Superman shirt. You're literally the man of meal.
I said earlier, I wasn't trying to say I'm very average man. I am not Superman at all. I'm a very average man. I'm just a fan of Superman. That's all it is. But like I was saying,
you're not even a Superman. You're a curry man. It's not even a soup.
The shirt's laying right over there with just vegetable curry right on the collar. But anyways, Giannis making a statement tonight he doesn't really get mentioned in the MVP discussion somehow as often as I feel like he should. But he was going up against against another MVP candidate tonight, and I would say that he came out on top in the box score and in the scoreboard.
I think that the guy that came out on top tonight was Joel Embiid, honestly, because these two clowns that played tonight, honestly, they don't have the heart. They got both their knees right now. Dude, like seriously, the narratives are going to legitimately be all over the place, where it's going to be like, yeah, but Giannis's team knocked down all their shots. Like Jokic had to carry his entire team to scoring under 100 points. It was like, oh, how are you supposed to be the MVP if you don't score points? Like that's seriously the Jokic.
It does seem like people.
Giannis.
It does seem like people will do like some mental gymnastics. It does seem like people will do some mental gymnastics to not include Giannis in the MVP discussion, and to pump up other guys in the MVP discussion. I don't understand it, man. I don't know what it is, and I don't know. Drew, I think on some level it's probably not as bad as we make it out to be because, we're probably a little bit sensitive to it in terms of any criticism or any lack of acknowledgement for Giannis. But also at the same time, like I do think that it's real, man. Like people don't talk about Giannis the way that they talk about some of these other guys around the league.
No, and it's because whatever, he's not a shooter, even though his mid-range is really coming around. Like he's not as, I don't even know how you can't say that he's not as flashy as some of these other guys. Like the dunks he has are insane on a nightly basis. The moves he does, the way he slithers through everybody is just, it's unreal. And it's like, people are like, oh, he traveled. No, it's like you watch his feet. He doesn't drag his foot. He doesn't leave his pivot. He is one of the few guys that doesn't leave his pivot more than anybody in the league. I didn't want to get into the negatives of this game because there are things that I want to get fired up about. Like Scott Foster. I know we're not supposed to slander people, but he's a terrorist.
No, he's not.
He is.
No, he's not. He's a terrible referee. He's a terrible referee. He's not a terrorist. On behalf of the Ramie and Drew show, he is not a terrorist. Carry
on behalf of the Ramie portion. You're the one that's trying to get work. I'm the one here that's like, I'm going to say what's on my mind. I have not.
But that is not true. Oh, dang. I put up the wrong banner. Has that been up there this whole time?
Dude, Scott, like that was okay. That first half of that game was officiated like shit. We can just say that. Like, I don't want to be the refs guy again, but it's like that was okay. Here's the thing. I've been watching because of like doing parlays and everything. I've been watching a lot of games that aren't Bucks games, and fuck me if Trae Young doesn't get all those continuation calls that Dame Lillard just gets hammered on. Dudes jump on Damian Lillard's back, and he gets no continuation call. They're like, oh, it wasn't a shooting foul. It wasn't this. Dame Lillard gets no whistles at home, and Trae Young, whose team is absolute dog shit, gets so many calls. It's actually kind of getting annoying. And then you see Scott Foster. Oh, all right, Bobby Portis hung on the rim. Well, how many times, and I don't want to, is Jason Tatum. Jason Tatum does it all the time. And call it like, oh, he's protecting his legs because he doesn't want to get
that was a terrible call. Marcus Johnson was not happy about that.
No, Marcus Johnson flat out said it. I tweeted that like Marcus Johnson, like with no timeouts left after the first challenge, or no challenges left. Marcus Johnson had no choice but to say that was just a bad call. They couldn't go to Secaucus on this one. It was like they actually had to be like, this was a bad call. Scott Foster was absolutely terrible tonight. Just also the other thing, okay, here, I want to say this too. Giannis, again, what did he do? 12. He went to the line 12 times. 12
yeah, more things you're angry about after a damn near 20. You got more things you're angry about after a damn near 20-point win over the reigning champs.
No, actually, this is great on the Bucks defense. Jokic only went to the line 3 times.
Oh,
he was 1 for 3. So
really, I didn't even realize that.
Yeah, because he didn't come back in the fourth quarter. So, yeah, he was 1 for 3 from the line, and Giannis was like what 7 for 11 or 7 for 12. Doesn't matter. Yeah, Giannis got to the line. Jokic didn't. Like the Bucks did a really good job not fouling Jokic and forcing him to pass to guys who they were also giving a hard time. And to say more positive things here, Malik Beasley's defense, I'm going to harp on it every time because I'm the one that gave him an F on defense for the first half of the season. Malik Beasley's defense, fantastic in transition tonight. I'll specifically pick out transition.
Yeah,
defense.
Dude, there were a couple of times. There were a couple of times tonight where I noticed that too, Drew. And quite frankly, I didn't think he was capable. Like I didn't think Malik Beasley. And look, man, I don't know. I still don't know if he's like a plus defender. You know what I mean? But I didn't think he was capable. I was like, this isn't Adrian Griffin's fault. This isn't anything coaching is going to fix. He's just not a good defender, and he's not going to be a good defender. And since Adrian Griffin has been fired, like first it was your guy Prunt Dog that got the best out of him, and now since Doc Rivers has taken over, the guy is an improved defensive player, which quite frankly, like I said, I didn't think was really possible, but he is. You've seen improvement from him on that side of the floor.
And it's like we talked about a couple times. The amount of times that guys were just confused at where they were supposed to be. This is just simplified like defense. That's all this is. This is simplified man-to-man. Guys are doing simple switches. They're not doing anything crazy. You know, some like the thing I like that Doc is mostly doing is having guys like Giannis meet like the best like ball handler on their team at the point of attack and then dropping them. So it's like you don't have a guy with a full head of steam going at guys like Malik Beasley or Dame. Also, Dame getting 2 early fouls. Giannis 2 early fouls. Giannis maybe okay. The second Dame foul. What the hell was that? Like, I mean, they removed Dame from basically the first half of that game with just shit fouls. And it's like, Dame's not the strongest defender, but he's been much more active defensively, and he does not put his hands on people almost to stop himself from not getting removed from games because he's always had to be the offensive load guy. So it's like, I don't know. That was like, those are the things that were frustrating tonight, but like, that win felt good. That felt vindicating because my phone didn't vibrate that entire game. I didn't get anybody hitting me up.
Marcus Johnson said,
what?
Marcus Johnson, I forget what was the other win that he said that this was up there with, but he said this was the best or second best win so far of the regular season. And I'm not the greatest in terms of pulling those out of the old memory file, Drew. I'm getting old, and I'm not the greatest at pulling up the old memory file on what was the best win. But in the moment, yeah, man, this feels really damn good to do this to the reigning champs and a guy who's in contention for MVP. I don't know if this changes the way Giannis is treated or regarded in the MVP race, but if not, it certainly it starts the process. It starts the ball rolling in that direction. I think eyes are on this game when you're going up against the Nuggets and Jokic.
And honestly, with my bias toward or against ESPN and stuff, no, I think this one gets swept under the rug. This game will get covered for maybe a minute tomorrow morning. This one's going to get swept under. Like Cleveland had what did Cleveland just play Philly tonight or something? They're going to be going at the new look Sixers. They're going to be beating the Tyrese Maxey drum. Jared Allen had, I think, 21 points. Donovan Mitchell had a 36-point game. So it's like they're going to sit there and be like, oh, there was a shootout in Cleveland. Cleveland dropped on the home court. Their 8-game win streak's over now. They'll talk about that game. They're not going to talk about Jokic because what they want is they want Embiid to repeat now. And it's not going to happen. He's not going to meet the requirement for games played. So then it's going to fall back to Jokic. And it's like, oh, well, maybe Jokic just could have potentially 4 years in a row. It could have been the first time ever. Giannis is so far below what they want to talk about because I truly honestly do believe that ESPN fucking hates what the Bucks have built here. They don't like this. They don't like that. Dame Lillard wasn't supposed to be here. Chris Middleton is supposed to be some second-round pick bum that no one cares about. Like, it's like Brook Lopez is supposed to be old and washed with a bad back. They don't want this. They wanted Giannis out of here. They were trying to shop Giannis to Miami. I
don't think they necessarily they do want Giannis out of here. I think some people would prefer to see him in a bigger market. I don't think that they hate the Bucks because of that or that they don't want this to work. If they hate anything about it, and I think Bart sort of shined a light on this. And again, if you're just tuning in to us live, Ramie and Drew show, find us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple Podcasts. And we had Bart Winkler on earlier today, but I remember him tweeting like right after the Dame trade that what upsets the Wojs and the Shams of the world, and maybe it gives like a little bit of a bite or an edge to the way that they're covered or Windhorst, is that they don't know what the Bucks are doing. Like they got sources inside other organizations, and they seem to kind of be in the dark when it comes to the Bucks and a lot of the stuff that they do. And that's not good for their business. That's just not good for what they do for a living. So that probably gets under their skin, but I don't think they hate the Bucks or they're actively rooting against the Bucks necessarily.
I don't necessarily agree with you on that because I don't think it's Woj. I don't think Woj necessarily cares. I don't think Shams really cares. Like, those guys are just insiders, and they're just trying to, they got their tweets and everything, and they're reliable, and everybody kind of likes them. Windhorst only has a job because he broke the LeBron James trade. He broke the LeBron James trade.
Well, he's been riding LeBron's coattails since high school. Man, he's been covering him for that long.
Or the LeBron free agency thing. He's the one that broke that. Like, that was all him. Like, Windy has a job. Like, Windy is. He would probably be the general manager of a McDonald's somewhere. Honestly, wasn't doing this shit. The guys that I'm saying, like, it's the former players that don't like this Bucks thing. I'm talking about Kendrick Perkins. I'm talking about all those guys that are not like Chuck, Shaq, Ernie Johnson.
Like you might not like Kendrick Perkins, but I remember Kendrick Perkins saying that the Bucks picking the Bucks to win the championship in multiple seasons. Like, I just don't see it. Like,
so remember. Dude, did you see last week at the trade deadline when, Kendrick Perkins is just the loudest guy in the room. He's basically the Drew Flaggy of that show. So he's always right about it. And what he's doing, like, he's yelling about just like the Knicks are the second best team in the fucking East now. It's like, oh, the Knicks are the best team. Oh, because of what? Because, they went and got Bojan Bogdanovic or something. Oh my God, that's a name that strikes fear into the hearts of every YMCA pickup game. But like, other than that, like, who fucking cares? And he's all mad. It's like he's sitting there, and then Austin Rivers was the one that was like, they're not better than the Bucks. And then it's like, oh my God, Malika Andrews suddenly was like, I can speak up now. It's like, because like they all started telling Kendrick Perkins that he's full of shit. And it's like, it took one person to just be like, dude, knock it off. Like, it's like, you're gonna seriously root, you're gonna bet against Damian Lillard and Giannis. Giannis has already been there.
because
Julius
you
Randle,
got Boyan Bogdanovic. Yeah, you're
man,
gonna bet against Giannis and Dame because you got Boyan Bogdanovic. It does get ridiculous and out of hand, but there are bad takes of all kinds for or against all kinds of teams across every sport on every platform. You know what I mean? These guys are they
yeah.
I've been guilty of it myself, if I'm being honest. Like you're here to entertain, man, and like outlandish opinions sometimes entertain. You know what I mean? But Kendrick Perkins has had outlandish opinions for and against the Bucks. Like I said, I've heard him
Yeah.
pick them to win a championship on multiple occasions in multiple seasons. I will agree with you. I think I said it to start the show. I don't think Giannis gets the run that he should in the MVP discussion and narrative so far this year. And if he does end up winning it, there'll be a lot of buts around it. You know what I mean? Like, but Embiid was hurt. Yeah, but Tyrese Halliburton, blah, blah, blah. And there'll be other buts that come along the way. But I think he's as deserving as anybody. And people will be like, well, I mean, look at everything that happened with Adrian Griffin. Dude, I would say that's a check mark in his favor, if anything, because despite the fact that you had a head coach that got fired, you're third in the Eastern Conference right now. You were second in the Eastern Conference for most of the season. They've had the fourth or fifth best record in the NBA for most of the season. He's held this thing together. He's more valuable this season than he's ever fucking been. You know what I mean? Like you can't hold any underachievement or whatever has gone on with the Bucks against him. If anything, it's an argument for him in the MVP discussion. And I don't. You might be right. It might not move the needle at all tonight, what he did head to head against Jokic, another MVP candidate, but I hope it does. I hope it at least starts to change tonight.
Well, of course, I hope it changes the thing. I would love for Giannis to win it again. He's our guy. Like, dude, he's our franchise. He's gonna probably be the greatest player to ever play for the Bucks. He's awesome. Like, there's not enough good things. There's not enough good things you can say about what he does out there. Like, he's like seriously the heart and soul of that team. He will, like I've said multiple times, he's going to drag them across the finish line if guys are having a bad night. It's going to be him. I don't necessarily know that anybody else on that roster can necessarily put it on their shoulders and just do it. But like, he is the guy, and I guess Dame would be the second one.
Dude,
but I have more faith in just a willpower win coming out of Giannis than a finesse win out of Damian Lillard, and that's not a knock against Dame. It's just Giannis is just he's just a whole different beast that no one else has.
Dame needs to wake up though. And I do want to keep it positive after this one tonight, but and you know what? Like, and you've said this, Drew, and
like this one, Dame started off great. The way the ball was moving, like all that. I think you just froze. But
he ended up what?
I don't know what he finished.
He ended up 6 of 15. 6 of 15 with the 18 points. And that's not a bad night, man, but I need and you've talked about this before. I'm somewhat guilty of it. I never played organized basketball. I'm not the most educated when it comes to X's and O's. I would say I have more knowledge and expertise in that area when it comes to football and baseball, but so I don't like, to me it seemed like Dame needed to be more involved and Dame needed to be more aggressive and assertive in being more involved in the offense. And when Doc Rivers came in, he said, like, I need him to be a little bit more assertive and to start remembering he's Dame. And he pointed out, and I saw this play out exactly tonight. I think it was in the second quarter in the first half. He said, I'm seeing too often Dame go up and have a good shot and then see somebody else open and defer to their good shot when he should just take it. And he did that tonight. He had an easy like floater in the lane. And I think it was Bobby Portis off in the corner, and he dished it out to Bobby Portis and he missed. And like, it's cool that he's trying to play within the framework and the system and everything, but he's fucking Dame Lillard, dude. I want Dame Lillard shooting 20 shots at least 4 out of every 5 nights. And it seems like these 12 and 15 shot nights are way, way too common.
Well, okay, so I'll actually go in defense of Dame because so many times, like, I've been shitting on him, even though I'm literally sitting here wearing the Dame Lillard jersey, because I'm waiting on just the game where he goes nuclear. I'm waiting on it.
Me too.
But it's going to be awesome when he does it. Like, it's going to be the same thing as him hitting a game winner against Sacramento. It's going to rule when you see Dame Lillard put up 50 points in a game. Like, it's going to look easy for him the night he does it. But, like, the whole thing, it's like they took away, like, to Denver's credit, they took away so many good shots from him 2 weeks ago when we played them. And that was with Chris Middleton on the floor. They took away a lot of shots from both of those guys with just really great defense. And the Bucks did adjust tonight, and Dame was bringing that ball up. The offense was running through Dame the way all these people wanted it to, and he was directing traffic. He was dishing the ball places. He was making quick decisions, and he was getting his shots too. It's just that early foul trouble is what got him out of the game. I think he would have been in more of a rhythm. He would have played more of that game had he not gotten in foul trouble. And that's where those ticky-tack stupid fouls do come in. Like, yeah, I'm gonna meme and be the angry guy, Scott Foster. But, like, yeah, he did alter how the game was played for Damian Lillard. Like, he took him out of that game. Those foul calls were bad in the first half. So it's like, I don't know. Like, I'm happy with how
he was. Yeah, there was some bad officiating going on. Got a comment here on the YouTube page from Hottest of Jacobs. Jacob, he says, to anyone who wanted the mayor traded, shame on you and your family. And he's talking about Bobby Portis, by the way, who he had a solid night tonight. 13 points in 26 minutes, 8 rebounds, 6 of 14 shooting. I will take that from Bobby Portis.
That's a solid night. That's all. I think there are two different camps of people that wanted Bobby Portis traded. There were the two things. There were the people like me who I wanted Bobby Portis traded only if it netted something in return that was of greater value, like packaging up a couple guys with him that would give us a bigger need on the team. I have said, I'm more of a culture guy than a lot of people are. I think trading Bobby Portis for the sake of trading him is an absolute horrible move. Like, I think, especially mid-season, like, I could entertain it in the offseason to trade contracts, and maybe you get a guy, that we're going to have 3 years of control under or something like that, 2 or 3 years after Bobby Portis, so you don't have to pay a pay increase or something like that. But, like, unless you have to get rid of a guy like him, I'm not about trading him. There, I think, were people that saw Bobby Portis having these nights where he was scoring 4 points or he wasn't rebounding well and his defense was terrible, that those people automatically, those were the new fans that were like, oh, he sucks, he's terrible, get rid of him. It's like, no, Bobby Portis was never a player that I would have ever called a bad player. I thought he made bad decisions and a lot of selfish decisions, especially when he wasn't passing, because he has been passing out of the post more now too. That's a big thing that I think Doc really got here. That's like, you need to find those other guys that are out there because you have shooters on this team. And I thought the shot selection that Bobby Portis had tonight was very good. I thought that the energy he brought was very good. I liked the minutes that he was playing with Pat Beverly. I thought those were awesome. Like,
I think Bobby Portis, well, we've talked about it all season. Bobby Portis was having a subpar season, a below expectations for what we expect from Bobby Portis. But at no point did I think like he was an anchor to this team or somebody that was necessarily a detriment to this team. If you could improve the team by trading him, then yeah, I'm open to those discussions, but I didn't think that the team was necessarily worse because you had him. You could make that argument for Pat Connaughton. You could certainly make that argument for Pat Connaughton that he was dragging this team down a little bit, but I don't think that was necessarily the case with Bobby Portis. And the Bucks didn't even think that was the case with Pat Connaughton, or he wouldn't, or I don't think he'd still be on this roster at this point.
Well, then there was the thing. I think there's also two different camps on that one, where it's like, Pat Connaughton, what were you going to get for him? Honestly.
Yeah.
Like, with the way that he was playing for most of the season with that contract, like, what are you getting here? I said that if he was getting traded in some kind of package deal, he was going to be a guy that was going to go to a team that was in the tank for some picks that was going to end up getting waived. Like, I thought that that's what that would be. It's like, if you had to do a 3 trade to get somebody, Pat Connaughton goes somewhere for a couple second rounders or something like that, and then those are your trade assets to go flip and go get like a DeJounte Murray or something. But the Hawks didn't get any offers for Murray, so that didn't really matter. And then the Mavericks were the ones apparently that approached the Bucks about Bobby Portis for Grant Williams, and it's like, no, like that was a terrible,
no, absolutely not. No,
like that was, it was floating around like the Bobby Portis rumored in talks. Yeah, it wasn't out of our mouths.
No.
That was the Mavericks that were sitting there. They were like, oh,
That's the Mavericks going, we sure would like to trade Grant Williams for Bobby Portis. And the reporter going, can I run with that? And they were like, yeah, sure, run with that.
yeah. No, so it's like the people I say do, yeah, shame on all the people who said they wanted Bobby Portis traded because they said that he sucked. Shame on those people, because that's just not the case. But it's like, if you can, like I said, if you can net something positive for that contract, because that was the most tradable contract that you could get a player of that quality back in return.
Yeah.
That's where I'm like, I'm entertaining it, but I gotta really like the deal to want to do it. And
Hey,
I mean, they got no like they weren't willing to pursue Wiggins for anything more, like outside of because Bobby Portis was rumored in that trade. And it's like the Warriors they wanted so much more, and it's like we weren't going to get anything else really in return from them. And it's like, so those talks fell apart. So I'm perfectly fine with Bobby Portis being the sixth man of this team going forward. I have no issue with him being here. And honestly, I'm happy that he's here because, yeah, I'm one of the fans that goes absolutely ballistic when he comes in. I love it. It's fun. I
love Bobby
out there.
And it's even more of a party with Pat Bev on the roster now. I saw somebody call him. You'll appreciate this as a comic book fan. And by the way, a lot of comic book talk in our discussion with Bart Winkler earlier today, which was weird. It was some weird comic book talk.
It was your Superman shirt.
It was fun. I forgot what I was just about to say.
You're gonna compare him.
Oh, somebody said he's Bizarro Drew Holiday, like he's the evil Drew Holiday.
I've heard evil Drew Holiday, but it's like Pat Beverly doesn't look like an evil person. Like, it's just
he's villainous. He's mischievous. You know what I mean? He likes to get under people's skin. He likes to cause trouble.
He reminds me of like a little brother. Like, that's just there just to annoy you. Like, that's it. It's like you can't say anything.
I love the dude.
Yeah, he's awesome. Like, he's super cool.
I love the type that you love to have on your team and you hate him on the other team. You know what I mean? Those are my favorite types of players. I tried to be that player in every sport I played growing up.
Yeah, that's just the Bobby Portis archetype. It's great. Yeah, I saw that they were also, for video game fans, they were calling Pat Beverly Wario. They were calling him Wario Drew Holiday. Like, it was just every evil version of like the character. Like, I don't know. Like,
I love that. I like the people that were pearl clutching. Like, he's wearing 21. Oh, like, yeah, man, we can't retire every night. And I love Drew Holiday, and you don't win that championship without him. And not only that, but he did a lot off the court for the community. I don't forget anything that Drew Holiday did or have any lesser feelings towards Drew Holiday than I did before. But come on, somebody was going to wear 21 again. They weren't going to retire Drew Holiday's number, and certainly not the same season that he was traded from the team. Maybe one day, I don't know, because he won a championship. 21 goes up in the rafters, but it's not up there now, and it's just a number. Everybody relax.
If they win it this year, they're retiring Pat Beverly. Now, that would be funny if they retired Pat Beverly's number. That would be hilarious. Like, that would be funny. But like, no, it's like, okay, it's not like Pat Beverly didn't wear that number in college, because he did.
Yeah.
He also has worn that number on almost every team he's played on in the league. Like, the only time he doesn't wear that number is if somebody already had it on the roster. That's kind of Pat Beverly's number, dude. Like, it's fine. Like, that happens across sports where guys just have their number, and it's usually issued to them regardless. Like, it doesn't matter. Like, dude, Paul George has worn 13 because he's got his nickname PG-13.
And now we have all the memes and jokes because they wore the same number. We have the Wario, the Bizarro, all the fun memes and jokes.
I've almost thought about getting like a piece of like packaging tape and putting it over my Drew Holiday, like the holiday part of my black jersey, and just writing Pat Bev on the back. Like, I've just thought about doing that for like the rest of the year. Like, I haven't worn a holiday jersey since they traded them, so I'm
should definitely do that. I want to see that.
Wow, that'd be fun.
Hey, I gotta pee, and I'm pretty sure my dog does too, and my internet's gonna give out soon. But before we end the show, I did want to mention, dude, Brooke Lopez, who was already, I mean, doing very well on the defensive end, even when the Bucks weren't as a team under Adrian Griffin. I remember like a highlight. I don't know if it was necessarily highlights, but I remember a highlight reel of Brooke Lopez growing frustrated with the defense and his role in it during the Adrian Griffin era. And tonight, man, there were multiple sequences where he single-handedly like just stopped and disrupted Denver's offense, and he looks more and more comfortable in what they're doing defensively. And like I said, he was already doing fine defensively, but he's looking more and more comfortable in what they're doing and his role in it than he was before the change. And that's bad news for the rest of the league, because when that guy is in just the right spot on a defense, and in this Bucks defense, he's as good at disrupting an offense around the rim as anybody in this league right now.
A Brook Lopez early game block, like in the first quarter, is a tone setter for the entire game. It seems like if you can get that block early, that it changes the dynamic of the defense. And also, not for nothing, the Bucks did hold a team under 100 points again. This is the worst defense in the NBA, according to a lot of analysts. And these guys held the Denver Nuggets, who, Jamal Murray was hurt, and so was who else went out? Was it Otto? No, not Otto Porter. Michael Porter Jr. Did he go out? Two players from Denver. No, KCP went out. That's who went out.
I thought it was Michael Porter Jr.
No, Michael Porter Jr. was playing the game. No, it was KCP. So they had two guys go out with injuries. But okay, fine. Like they had a couple days. They didn't play. They didn't play the last 2 games or play the last 2 days or something. They were kind of rested, but it's late in the season. Injuries are going to creep up. But like the Bucks were also again without Chris Middleton. The Bucks played a very good game today. Like from like start to end. Like this was a very, very good game for the Bucks. Like they never trailed in this one. AJ Green, phenomenal. Again, AJ Green, the way he played defense on Jamal Murray was really good today.
And put him in the 3-point contest. Let's just put him in the 3-point contest already. Let's quit fucking around.
AJ Green went straight up against Jamal Murray a couple times, and Murray tried to knock him back, and he just stood in there and he played great. Like those, I think that like Pat Connaughton's, his minutes I think are going to AJ Green right now. And
deservedly so.
Yeah.
I'm glad they're open to that, because I was concerned, and I sent you these comments when I saw them. I was concerned by the comments of Doc Rivers saying, hey, we got to give Pat minutes because we got to get his confidence up, because this is a guy that we're going to count on down the stretch. And I was like, really? Are we? Well, is that really the plan, Doc? Please tell me that ain't really the plan.
If Pat Connaughton was playing playoff Pat basketball and stuff, I'm all for it. Like, cool. Like I don't want a player on this team to play bad. Like that's it. But like,
same. Yeah, I'm not rooting against anybody on this team, so I can be right.
If someone else is out hustling or out just making like the smart moves, knocking down the open shots when they get them, like paying off great passes and stuff, like Malik Beasley missed that one, that great pass that Giannis had behind the back. That was pretty. He missed that shot, and then Giannis fed him again, and he nailed it. Like it was great. So yeah, just those guys just constantly paying off. Like it doesn't have to turn into Aaron Rodgers in the playoffs where you start forcing crap out there.
Right.
It's like, okay, well, I lost confidence in the one guy.
Or Jordan Love.
What?
Or Jordan Love.
No, Jordan Love is fine, dude. But like,
you kind of did force it in the playoffs. We saw what we saw.
But yeah, you don't want Giannis to sit there and try to force. Like, I don't want Giannis balling his way through everybody, because that's how you get your legs hurt.
Not every time. It's fun to watch every once in a while, but not every time. You're not gonna last very long doing it that way.
No, but you space the floor better when you got Malik Beasley or AJ Green or Pat Connaughton. You space the floor a lot better when you're making shots.
True. Yeah. I don't think anybody would deny that or argue that.
Since I'm doing this on my phone, like I haven't bookmarked. I had a couple bookmarked things for the Ramie's Bookmark Club.
Oh, we'll do that. You know what? We'll do that. Are we doing a show tomorrow? I'll talk to you about this later. But if we do a show tomorrow, we'll do the latest Ramie's Bookmark Club tomorrow. It's the hottest thing taking over the internet.
I know you got to pee, but yeah, I was gonna say my favorite one was somebody commented on like one of the Bucks pages and just said, "Is it just me or is Brook Lopez washed?"
God,
all
right.
Those are my favorites. I'm like, yeah.
Yeah. No, it's you know what? It's
on the internet. All
It
right,
is
man.
just you. It is just you, whoever said that. All right, Drew, any final thoughts before we wrap this thing up?
No, this game made me very happy. This was a good
Same.
game. Miami's going to be tough tomorrow. Are we going to do live again tomorrow after Miami?
Oh yeah, they do play tomorrow. Fuck it. Yeah, we'll go live after Miami.
Yeah,
Let's do this. Fuck it. We'll do it live.
Dame and Giannis didn't have to play heavy minutes in this game, so they should be rested to go against Miami, who's been on the struggle bus for a while.
You know what? Good day for the Bucks and good day for the Ramie and Drew show. I think we put in two solid shows today. Played a doubleheader. We had Bart Winkler earlier. That was hilarious. That's as hard as I've laughed in one of these podcasts yet. Folks should go and check that out. You can follow us on YouTube, Spotify, and Apple, as you see down there across the bottom of the show if you're watching us live. So go back and check that out. Please follow, like, subscribe, rate, review, do all the things to help us grow this thing. This has been Ramie and Drew, episode 17 live. And yeah, sure, why not? We'll be back with episode 18 tomorrow after they take on the Miami Heat. That's Drew Flaggy. I am Ramie Makhlouf. We will talk to you again tomorrow. Drew, I will talk to you again tomorrow, sir.
Woo!
All right.